I'm Rob Wilson, President and CEO of Employco USA. Thanks for joining me for our weekly HR chat. With me is Jason Eisenhunt, our Vice President of HR.
Hi, everyone.
Jason, thanks for joining me again this week. Uh, the last few chats, we've talked about reopening offices post COVID-19. This week, questions are on employees and travel. So, Jason, you've got, as our clients are starting to travel again, not nearly as much as they used to, but what happens when what exposures do you have when you're traveling a team, and then what happens if someone tests positive?
Yeah, so we're getting some client questions on can they prohibit employee personal travel? So I guess that's the first to like high risk areas. And in most states, you can't prohibit it. So if an employee is traveling from Illinois and they're telling you I'm going on vacation to Florida or Texas, a high risk area, most employers can't prohibit that type of travel. On the pay side, it doesn't matter if it's business or personal. If they come back, and here in Illinois, Chicago, the city of Chicago has a travel ban. So if you're returning home from a high risk area, you have to self quarantine for 14 days. In Cook County, they have a travel advisory, more of a recommendation. But other states have similar requirements and advisories that we can get into pay.
What happens, Jason, in the case where you're considered an essential business? So, for example, insurance is considered essential business, and you traveled to Florida. The travel ban doesn't apply then in Illinois when you return, at least in Illinois.
Right. Yeah. So each state might be a little bit different, each municipality. But if you do have an area that prohibits the employee from coming back to work, whether or not they're essential or not, you can first look to the FFCRA, Families First Coronavirus Response Act. If you're under 500 employees, you may have to pay that employee for the first 2 weeks or 14 days, 100%. So if they're returning home, business or personal travel, and they have to stay at home. And again, you have the inability to work or telework. So if for some reason I'm traveling, either work or personal, to Florida, and I come back to work in the city of Chicago or whatever state it might be, to have a travel ban and order that restricts it, my employer, if I don't have the ability to work or telework, my employer must pay me that FFCRA pay.
And exposure that people are concerned about now, not just traveling and coming home, but what happens if you travel from Chicago, you're down in Houston or Miami, wherever, and your employee tests positive? What becomes the HR issue at that point?
Yeah, good point. So a lot of it will depend on whether or not the employer has forced or required the employee to travel. And some of the requirements that are potentially being included in the next round of stimulus is more of a hold harmless protection for businesses. So we'll kind of see what that looks like for lawsuits from employees who do test positive. But as of right now, we don't recommend that you require employees who might be at a high risk engage in that interactive process with the employee to see if there's another way to go about it. If there's underlying health conditions you're not worried about.
Yeah, and if someone, if they're down in Miami or whatever city, any city in the country, and they test positive, you've got, and they're going to have to they potentially at that point have to self quarantine in that city. So you've got some hotel or accommodation expenses as a business.
Yeah, and let us know. There's so many nuances to different state and municipality laws. HR@employco.com. We're here to help and work through any of the possible scenarios and kind of give you the best guidance possible.
Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you.